Hey everybody, we're here at Bar Sugo on Wall Street in Norwalk, and here is chef and owner Pat Pascarella. And what are you going to show us today, Pat?
Today we're actually making Cavatelli Bolognese.
Cool. Let's see what you're doing.
First we have the ground beef, the ground pork, and the ground veal. We have some mirepoix that we Vita prep with a little bit of oil, and then we have a sachet, which is composed of bay leaves, black peppercorns, and parsley stems, and that's the base to the bolognese. Next, we're going to start the browning the bolognese process, browning the meat. All right, so we start with the pork because it's got the most fat in it. Break it up a little bit. Let that cook out for about a minute or two. Break it apart as you're going. Helps create a finer, smoother bolognese at the end. Now we add the veal. Same thing, break it apart a little bit. So we do about, every time we do it, we do about 3 pounds of ground beef to about 1 pound of veal and 1 pound of pork.
So Pat, how is this different than the normal bolognese that you make?
Well, our bolognese, this is pretty traditional, as traditional as it gets. Right. A normal bolognese is made pretty much this way and then stewed down with a lot of herbs, spices, and milk and white wine. Ours is pretty much the same thing. We just try to simplify as much as you can. That's why we go to a sachet. We do pureed vegetables with it. And ours is a pretty raw, I would call it, sauce, because we try not to let it cook too long because, you know, everything we do here is really simplistic. So we don't really need the over reduced of a sauce or anything like that. We try to keep it a little more natural and yeah, more flavorful, like a fresher flavor, as you would say.
Mm-hmm.
Much at the stage that you want to be at, where the meat's all cooked and it's pretty much broken up. And we're going to break it up a little more as we go too. And then we're going to strain it out. Once you're all straining out, high heat again. You can see this is what we're not looking for in your bolognese. This is pureed carrot, onion, celery, and garlic with a lot of oil already, so it's going to help brown the process. And you just want to pretty much brown it out. We're going to cook it all out. It's pretty much just the carrots.
Right.
Then once we cook it out, you add the wine and you add the milk. It changes.
Right.
Add a little salt. All these bits on the bottom, so you want to scrape it up with the wooden spoon. About another minute or two, we're going to add the meat back. Very trend of 2015, I believe, is the vegetable. It's like the new bacon.
Really?
Yeah, and that's a lot of stuff that we're going to. I mean, we're already doing it now on the menu, but it's a lot of stuff that we're going to be aiming towards for the summertime, especially, is letting the meat take the back seat and let the vegetables take the forward part. Right, okay. There's so much cool stuff you could do with vegetables these days, you know, especially with all the technology these days, like a sous vide machine and all that stuff. You could do so much. And same thing. I do this. I cook it out probably like another couple minutes. There's a lot of moisture in this. So you want to get rid of it, all. Try not to season all in the beginning or all at the end. Season through the whole way. So So a little bit more salt. So now's a good time to put in our sachet. Kind of throw it in there and bury it down and tuck it in. We're adding our white wine. It's about a half a bottle worth. The most important part of a bolognese is actually milk. So you braise it in milk. Just kind of just looks like a milky mess. But you'll see once we pick it up how it actually looks. Normally, that's gonna stay on there and braise for about an hour, hour and a half. And we're gonna show you a quick version of it now. So when you pick up the dish, you start with about, I don't know, 2 ounces of tomato sauce. Let's do 3 ounces just to make it a little wetter. And about a spoonful worth of bolognese. So that turns into this. So when you're ready to actually plate the dish, because that's going to take a little bit on its own there, our secret key ingredient is something called the sage veloute, which is this. It's pretty much sage, heavy cream, chicken stock, and white wine. Now we got the pasta. Our cavatelli is made with ricotta. Normal cavatelli is made with semolina and water. So it's actually it's ricotta, flour, egg, extra virgin olive oil, Parmesan cheese. That's the base. Drops in. Key to cavatelli is pretty much just like a gnocchi. Once it boils and comes up to the surface, you leave it a minute and it's cooked. You're almost ready. Slice some basil. You add a little bit of butter to it. Cavatelli goes in. As that's cooking out, start the plating process. Veloute in the middle of the plate. Another key ingredient is to make it creamy at the end. We like to add, instead of adding heavy cream like a lot of people do, we add mascarpone cheese. It adds a creamier texture to it, a lot more flavorful, I believe. So it's a decent amount. Once you add your mascarpone, turn off the heat, add your basil, and we finish every single pasta here with extra virgin olive oil at the end. So it's about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, and then it's creaming the whole thing together. Now you check for seasoning. Right in the middle, make it sit like a pool. A little shaved ricotta salad on top at the end.